Today we listen to the story of a man who decided to find God and found Him. Let's hear it. Good day, everyone. Today we'll tell a story of a young man, a Persian man. His name was Rusbey. And Rusbey was the son of a ruler of a district in the ancient Sassanid Persia, some 1500 years ago. So he had everything. He had his father's estate. He had a good future in front of him. He was also a servant of the eternal fire in the fire temple. Of course, he was a Magi, which was the religion of Sassanid Persia. But Rusbey was not satisfied with his religion. He thought he wants to find God. He wants to find the right religion. He had this burning need inside of him to find God. One day, his father sends him to check on a little bit remote estate that he owns. And on the way, he comes across some Christian people praying in a small church. They were not residents of the area, they were passing by. So Rusbey stays in the church listening to their prayers, and he thinks inside of him, this is better than my religion. Time passes until it's already late, and he doesn't go back to his father until his father sends somebody looking for him. When he's back, he's discussing with his father about religion. His father notices that he's really considering to change his faith. So he doesn't like it. He ties him up. He puts shackles, iron shackles, in his feet. Rusbey had asked the Christian people where they come from. They told him they're coming from Levant, from Assyria. So he sends them a messenger. When your convoy is coming back, let me know. And so they send him the time. He breaks the shackles and joins them. When he reaches Assyria, he asks around, I want to learn the Christian religion. Tell me, who's the best guy to educate me? They tell him, then you have to go to the bishop. He goes to the bishop and he says, I will work for you for free. I will serve you. Just teach me. Rusbey stays with the bishop. He uses the library, he reads the books, he reads the scrolls. But he was not satisfied with the bishop. This particular bishop was not a good man. He took charity to himself instead of giving it to the poor. But Rusbey is patient. He wants to learn. He wants to know God. He's not deceived that one man, who should be a learned man, is not a good man. He knows that the truth is absolute. So even if in the beginning of your journey you run across somebody who's not the example, if you know that this is the path to the truth, do not be deceived with the people who should be at the right level. Now, it's not very common that Rusbey would come across Christian people in Persia, because Christians were not so common in Persia. But Rusbey really wanted to know God. And when you want to know God, things would happen. When there is no way, He will open the way. And so, when Rusbey finds this man, he's patient. The days go and the years go. And one day, the bishop is ill and he dies. And they put another bishop in his place. But now this new bishop is a great man of piety, is a great man of knowledge and a great connection to God. Rusbey is in love with the man. He serves him with all his feelings, and he learns from him. But the days and the years go, and the man is now very old, and he is on his deathbed. Somebody might say, okay, Rusbey, you had your education. Now just go free. But I ask you a question. Why, when you want to have 100,000 and you have it, you want to have 1,000,000? And when you have 1,000,000, you're looking for the 10 million, and then for the billion. And when you're the richest guy in the world, you still want to be number 1 on the Fortune 500. It scares you if you go to number 2. And this was Rusbeh. He wouldn't settle for the masters, and not for the PhD, and not for the Nobel Prize. He wants to know. And when you are in the path to God, the more you know that there is more and more and more to know. So Rusbeh begs the bishop, tell me please, to whom shall I go? He tells him, there is nobody in Assyria that I can tell you to go to. Go to Mosul. There is this one righteous guy. I can recommend that you join him. And in Mosul he spends years with the other guy. And after some years, the guy is old and he's dying. He didn't have enough yet. He asks him, tell me, where should I go? And he tells him, go to Nusaybin. It's now on the border between Iraq and Turkey. And there he spends more years. And when the righteous guy of Nusaybin is on his deathbed, he asks him, please tell me. He says, there is one guy that I know in Amorium, and Amorium is deep inside Byzantine Empire, and he goes to him. There he would buy some lamb and some cows to spend on himself, and he continues learning with the righteous man of Amorium. But you know, righteous people will eventually leave. And this guy, now on his deathbed, tells him, well, Rusbeh, I don't know anybody else on the face of the earth who is on the same thing that you and I have. You see, they were Christian people, but they worshipping the one God. He says, so what can I do? I want to know God. I want to know more. He says then, this is the time of the final prophet. I know his land and I know his signs. He's coming very soon. Look for him. He's gonna be in Arabia, and he's gonna immigrate to a city where there is plenty of palm trees, and it is between two rocky plains. And he dies. Now Rusbeh wants to go to Arabia, and Arabia is a different place to go to. It's tough territory and it's not safe. So he waits until a convoy passes by Amorium. He says, I give you all my possessions. I'll give you my lamb. I'll give you my cows. But take me to Arabia, to a place that has plenty of palm trees, and it's between two rocky plains. The convoy accepts the deal. It's a very good deal for them, of course. They take the lamb, and it's on one extra guy on the trip. But those guys were not good guys. In the middle of the way, they enslave him, and they sell him to a Jew in a place called the Valley of Cities. The Valley of Cities has palm trees, but he wouldn't find the city between the two rocky plains. Now Rusbeh is sad, but he is close to his target. But now he's a slave. He was the son of a ruler, then a servant to a bishop, and then now he's a slave. But the days go by, and one day another Jew visits his owner, and he buys him, and he takes him with him. And guess what? When he goes to this new city, it's called Yathrib, he finds it's full of palm trees, and it's between two rocky plains. Rusbeh does not believe himself. You see, when your heart is on the path to God, He will draw the path to you in the real world. And there is a timing for everything. Now Rusbeh is in Yathrib. He's up on a tree, on a palm tree, servicing it. He hears his owner shouting and discussing and arguing with one fellow Jew. He says, "What's the fuss in the city?" And the other guy says, "They're discussing and they're arguing about the man they call a prophet who has just immigrated to Yathrib." Rusbeh cannot hold himself. He would fall from the tree. But he puts his act together. He grabs some dates. You see, the righteous man of Amorium told him about the signs of the final prophet. He said he doesn't take charity, he accepts presents, and he has this mark between his shoulders. So Rusbeh goes, he finds the prophet sitting with his companions. He tells him, I brought some dates, they're for charity. The prophet takes the dates and offers it to his companions, but he doesn't eat. So Rusbeh says, this is one. The second day, he brings some more dates. He says, this is a present. The prophet eats and gives his companions. He says, this is the second one. And on the third day, he goes to him. He finds him walking with a shawl on his shoulders. He's looking. He wants to know. He wants to see. And the prophet notices what this guy is doing. So he says, here you go. He sees the sign and he's completely out of his mind. He throws himself on the prophet, kissing him and hugging him and crying. He finally reached the man that he was looking for decades of his life. Now Yathrib has changed its name to Medina, and Rusbeh has a new name. It's Salman. And the prophet tells him, buy yourself from your owner. Agree with him on an amount so that you're a free man. And the companions gather the money for him, and he pays off the Jew, and he's now a free man. He's the Persian in the city. 5 years later, the Arab pagans bring about this huge army to encircle Medina and commit genocide, kill everybody inside Medina. But then Salman raises his hand, I have a plan. Back in Persia, when this happened, we do a ditch in the ground to protect our cities. They do the ditch, and they're making teams. And this is the teams of the immigrants who came with Prophet Muhammad. And this is the team of the residents of Medina. But with which team would Salman be? So the Prophet says, Salman is my family. He's from me. So now, you started as the son of a ruler of Persia. You're a servant. You're a slave. Now you're a free man. And now, you're family with the Prophet. Salman was this brilliant, wise man. They called him Luqman. And Luqman was an ancient man whose name comes in the Quran as one of the wisest men. After the Prophet dies, Salman goes back to Persia. The Caliph Omar puts him as the ruler of Persia on behalf of the Caliphate. So he's back to his capital city. He has a big salary, 5,000 silver pieces a year. But he takes none of it to himself. He's giving everything to charity. You see, a man who has left everything for truth cares not about salaries and silver. He insists to work with his own hand. They would tell him, what are you doing? We need your time to rule and to sit with the people. He says, no. I buy material. He buys wicker. He does wicker baskets. I buy wicker for 1 dirham. I do the baskets. The next day, I sell for 3 dirhams. 1 dirham I buy new material. 1 dirham for me and my family. And 1 dirham for charity. He continued living this way for the rest of his life. When he arrived to the capital of Persia, he asks a builder to build him a house. And then he goes and checks on him. How did he bring the house? He says it's just 2 meters by 2 meters. And if you stand, your head will hit the roof. He says, yes. He says, I know what you want. His reputation comes after him. And when he's dying, a companion of the Prophet comes to him. He's on his deathbed. And he's crying. He's weeping. He says, why are you weeping? He says, I want to die the way the Prophet wanted me to die. He said, pass by life and take nothing with you. But look, I have all those things with me. And the man looks, and there's nothing. There are just 2 pots in the whole place. A pot for washing up and a pot for eating, and nothing else. Now, you see, this life is like a cat. You push a cat away, it comes to you. You run after the cat runs away. Salman pushes life away, and he wants God. Life comes at his feet, but this is not what he wanted. Now, what do you want? Running after life for the rest of your life, and you only get that much and leave it behind and go? Or find God and take what you want from life, because it will be at your feet, and be like Salman. Thank you.